Manitoba Liberal MP Jim Carr was also in that meeting this week. He is the Prime Minister's Special Representative for the Prairies. Don't forget, the Liberals won no seats in Alberta or Saskatchewan in the fall election, so it's Jim Carr's job to be their voice effectively in government. Mr. Carr, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you too.
Let me start off before we get into the conversation. It's good to see you. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all the best. I know you continue your treatment for blood cancer. You look great. It's great to see you here, and you have all our best wishes.
Well, it's wonderful that you think I look great. That's half the battle. I remember I was asked by the government to speak the day of the Trump inauguration in Washington, and I did media all day. And the only feedback I had was that my tie was askew. So it matters how you look.
It does matter how you look.
Thank you for your good wishes.
You look great, and your tie is pretty much straight.
Thank you.
So we're off to a good start. You joined the Prime Minister, as I said, for that meeting this week with Jason Kenney. I want to get to some of the specific asks that the Alberta Premier made, but I want to start by having you frame for us how you see your role as the government's representative to the Prairies. What is it you've been tasked to do?
I've been tasked to be the Prime Minister's eyes, ears, and voice in Prairie Canada, to listen to what the people in those three provinces say about the state of the Federation, how the economies of those provinces are affecting the lives of people, particularly in Alberta and Saskatchewan, where there has been considerable dislocation. And we understand what it means to a family to lose a job, and to have very close relationships with people on the ground to know what the impact of the downturn has been, but at the same time to appreciate the role of Prairie Canada in making the Canadian economy as strong as it has been historically, and then to look ahead, because the world actually, Peter, wants what we're producing. It wants our energy. It wants our agriculture, it wants our artificial intelligence, it wants our value added. And wherever I go in the world, I am struck by how it is that Prairie Canada is producing what the world wants. And so I also, beyond the legitimate conversation about issues today, look ahead about Prairie Canada's role in building the next generation of the Canadian economy and being a part of Canada's international brand.
And are you sensitive to what we hear from Jason Kenney, what we hear from Scott Moe, the Premier of Saskatchewan, this alienation, this frustration, this anger in the West? Is it real?
It's real, and we have to be sensitive to it, because what can be more jarring, what is more real than losing a job, a good job, and having to compete for very few jobs with many thousands of others? So we know that the dislocation, because of a variety of reasons within the energy industry, has created this very tough moment for Albertans. And in a federation like ours, the response of the rest of Canada is, we're going to help you, and we're going to help you in ways that matter for today and tomorrow.
So what we heard from the premiers when they gathered was, when you talk about this national support and response, they've all agreed that the government, your government, should make changes to the Fiscal Stabilization Fund. That's one of the big asks from Jason Kenney this week, $2.4 billion extra for Alberta. Does he have a case?
It's on the agenda of the finance ministers next Tuesday. Minister Morneau has said he has an open mind to look at the Fiscal Stabilization Fund. There's the issue of the $60 per capita that has not been changed in years. There's the question of the impact on provinces when their revenues drop by more than 5%, which is significant. So the point to make is that when the premiers get together and make positive suggestions to the Government of Canada, the Government of Canada is prepared to listen.
But do you see yourself as an advocate for the Prairies? And I guess I'm asking so if you're the eyes and ears for the Prime Minister, would it be your suggestion to the Prime Minister and to the Finance Minister, look, this is something we need to do?
I will respond to any request from the Prime Minister to give an opinion on what matters to the Prairie. That's my role. But we also have to understand that whenever the Government of Canada makes a decision that affects one region, it has impacts on other regions too. So there's a national frame within which these decisions have to be made. It's my job to reflect the particular interest of those three provinces at this given moment in time, including policies and changes to formula that will directly impact the people who live in those provinces. So the answer to your question is yes, I am in a position to offer views, and I will.
Yeah, and on this one, what do you think?
I think that the Minister of Finance has said the right thing. He's got an open mind. He's going to sit down on Tuesday I think they're going to break a little bread the night before, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, on C-69, it's the
Yeah.
law now. Are you open to modifying the list of projects that would be subject to regulation to satisfy Mr. Kenny's demand?
Yeah, same answer. That both the Prime Minister and Mr. Wilkinson have said that they have an open mind to how the bill will be implemented and the project list. That we have to maintain the integrity of the purposes of the bill, that good projects go through with environmental stewardship and Indigenous consultation. And the SIA 2012 rules under which we have been operating were no good, and they didn't produce good projects going through. They produced delays and court battles. This is a better way of doing it. This is the most amended bill, I'm told, in Canadian history. And in the implementation of this bill, both the Prime Minister and Minister Wilkinson have said they have an open mind to good suggestions.
Okay. He's also asked Mr. Kenny for a fixed completion date. He wants you to be able to tell him, or your government to be able to tell him, when the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion will be completed.
Yeah.
You've been reluctant to do that, and you said why, but I guess I'm wondering why you can't pick a date and say, this is the date we're shooting for, and yes, there may be delays, and we'll let you know when there are.
As soon as possible. You know, nobody wants this thing delayed. Why would we want it delayed? It's been delayed so much already.
No, but somebody, like the project, the government's running the project.
Yeah, but I could give you
the
a
project
date.
Managers must say, look, we're shooting for this date.
It's not that we're trying to avoid the urgency of completing the thing. When I was a Minister of Natural Resources, I would stand up in the House of Commons 4 times a day and say we want this pipeline built, and as fast as possible. So I could give you a date, and the project manager might say that that date is good or that date has to change. The important message is that the Government of Canada is committed to the pipeline because it's in the national interest for all the reasons that your viewers know so well, and we have no interest in a day's delay.
Let me ask you about one final thing. The Alberta government's launched its $30 million war room to promote Alberta energy development, and what it says, to tell the truth about energy development, to try and take on some of the anti-Alberta development, energy development opponents. Do you believe that's a useful approach?
Well, it's his decision. I'm not going to second guess how the Alberta government uses $30 million to promote the energy industry or to take on whom they perceive to be opponents. That's a decision that will be judged by the people of Alberta. So my interest is to make sure that the Government of Canada is fully engaged with the producing provinces, because we're going to be needing these resources for a long time. The International Energy Agency has made predictions and projections, and we know that the innovation, the entrepreneurship, and the capacity of Albertans to adjust to situations has led economic development in Canada, and this will be no different. And already the oil patch is leading in a move to renewable sources of energy. So the Government of Alberta is free to spend money on picking its spots as we manage that transition. The Government of Canada is a partner with Albertans to make sure that that transition creates jobs and positions Canada well for the new generation of energy for not only Canada but for the world.
All right, Jim Carr, good to see you again, and again, best of luck as you continue this battle with cancer, and it's great to talk to you, and hope to see you again soon.
Well, thank you very much for your good wishes.